Hi guys, it's me Sharmise, aka Professor Mo, and I am back with the final lesson in our micro series for public speaking. This is lesson 30, and essentially this lesson is gonna be a review, and I have comprised 12 do's and don'ts that I want to recap for all of the lessons that we previously discussed. So if you have not watched the micro series or you missed a couple, go ahead to my channel and click on the micro series playlist and you can play catch up. My goal for this series was to give micro lessons or to share my lessons in 5 minutes or less. I would say overall I did that, but there were some lessons where I got a little carried away and I jumped on my soapbox, honey, and I kept going. So I'm pretty proud of this series, and I think it was super authentic to what I wanted to accomplish. I felt really inspired by Hillman Talk back in the day, and I'm really excited to watch the reboot of A Different World's completely different side note. But yeah, I'm excited about that, and I was inspired by Hillman Talk, and I just wanted people to have bite-sized lessons from my perspective as a professor in the communications field. I've been teaching for just over 4 years now, and I'm super proud of what I've been able to accomplish both in the classroom and asynchronous virtually for my students, and I wanted to bring that to my channel here. So back to our lesson. We're in lesson 30, and we're just taking an opportunity to review what we've learned so far. So I actually have my clipboard because I don't want to forget the main points of information that I'd like to share with you all. So we're just going to hit a couple do's and don'ts. So the first one is, do use your slides to support the information that you're sharing and using them for some type of cues of information to your next point to help you move on. So use your slides to support the information that you're sharing. Don't read directly from the slides. Do not read directly from the slides. I don't want to make this a super lengthy video. If you know, you know, but you should not be reading directly from the slides. There are a myriad of reasons why, but just don't. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is pause, breathe, and let the audience catch up to the information that you just provided. Don't speak 900 miles an hour because you're nervous and just want to get it over with. Don't speed through your speech. Breathe, slow down, give a main point of information, share a backstory, and take a quick pause. And just allow the audience the opportunity to catch up and process the information that you shared, and then you can move on. The next thing that I want you to do is keep going confidently. Don't draw attention to the mistakes that you've made or to your nerves. A lot of times people will say, I'm so sorry, I'm nervous, or they'll harp on a small mistake that they made instead of just keep going. So I want you to keep going confidently. The next thing I want to share is using intentional hand gestures. Don't look like a robot or have a whole bunch of hand choreography. You be intentional about your hand movements. Don't get all flaily. That's something that I do. So a lot of times I will finger my hands behind my back to kind of maintain that control because you don't want to distract the audience with your hand movements. So if you can't be intentional, keep your hands down. The next thing I want you to do is be human and be authentic. Okay, I don't want you to try to sound perfect. I don't want you to try to have this amazing execution. It's more attainable and it's more realistic to be real. You heard the Humans say Humans make mistakes. Humans have pauses. Humans don't have like this flawless execution at times. So I think as long as you're human and you're authentic to who you are and who you claim to be and you own that, you'll be a lot better for it. The next thing I want you to do is know your main points. If you have 3 main points, know those. If you have 5 main points because you decided to do Monroe's motivated sequence, know those main points. Nail those main points in your head. What I don't want you to do is try to memorize every single word. Why would I say that? If you sit and try to memorize every single word, you're bound to mess up. And when you mess up, you might spiral. So it's really important to, as long as you know your main points of information, you have something to play on, you have something to, find your flow, and you can paraphrase information, you can fill in information and support just the one thing that you share. But if you try to read verbatim or try to say it based off of memory, it might be more trouble than it's worth. A good public speaker can find that balance, but you definitely don't need to try to read verbatim or memorize every single word. The next thing I want you to do is assume people want you to succeed. Assume people want you to succeed. I can't get my words today. Assume people want you to succeed, but I don't want you to assume that people are plotting on your downfall. I think a lot of times people go into speeches and are thinking everybody's judging you, everybody's criticizing you, but in most instances, they are not. They simply want you to do what you're gonna do, So assume they want you to succeed. The next thing I want to tell you is to make your speech an audience-centered speech. Don't get up there and make it about ego. Don't use it as a soapbox of your own personal accomplishments or, super braggadocious moment. A speech should be audience-centered. The speech should be centered around the information that you're sharing for the benefit of the audience as well as yourself. It should be for the interests of the audience, the relatability of the audience. It should be intentionally for them on your behalf. This is not your soapbox. This is not your show. The next thing is, don't be boring. Oh, I said it wrong. Haha. Speak with intention, clarity, and confidence to hook your audience. Be intentional about the information that you are sharing. Don't be boring. I think a lot of times people go into speeches ready to share the information, but if you don't give the why, you don't go in with intention and make it interesting for the audience, a lot of times you've missed the opportunity to hook them and allow them to buy into any of the information that you plan to share. So don't be boring. The next thing is connect and engage with your audience. I want you to connect with them. And what is one of the best ways to connect? Eye contact. So what I don't want you to do is read your entire speech or conduct your entire speech with your head down. You won't be able to make connections that way. The next thing I want to share is provide examples and cite your references, okay? If you don't do this, you are missing an opportunity to show your credibility and show your professionalism. So don't miss that opportunity by not name dropping, by not providing examples to paint the picture for your audience. Don't miss that opportunity, okay? You need to provide examples and you need to cite your references. I need 2, 3, 5, 7 oral citations in your speech and really make it land. The last thing I want to share is prepare and rehearse for your speech. Don't let the first time you get up to give your speech be the actual first time that you said any of the words that you've prepared and or written. It is not the time to fly by the seat of your pants. You do not want to get up there and do a dry run, not having rehearsed. And by doing so, you've really done a disservice to yourself and anyone that is sitting in the audience. That lack of preparation will show itself in some way. So those are my do's and my don'ts. I try to think really hard and make sure that I capture as much as possible. So I'm just going to recap the don'ts and we'll worry about the do's another time. Don't read directly from the slides. Don't speak 900 miles an hour due to nerves. Don't draw attention to the nerves and the mistakes. Don't do random hand choreography. Don't try to sound perfect. Don't memorize every single word. There's no need for that, okay? Don't think people are plotting on your downfall. Do not speak from ego. Don't be boring. Don't speak with your head down. Don't miss an opportunity to show credibility and professionalism by citing sources and giving examples. And the last thing is, don't let your actual speech be the first time that you said any of the words that you've written. So that was my recap for my lessons for the micro series. I hope that it resonated with you and I hope that it gave you some encouragement on your public speaking journey. I hope that you will stay tuned for my next series, which I'm working on, and more updates to come. I'll see you guys next time.